In the past few weeks, we have been discussing from chapter 21, 22, 23, 24, wherein we have been discussing that the marriage that took place between Kardama and Devavati. Afterwards, seeing the austere lifestyle of Devavati, Kardama was very much pleased with her, wanted to bestow her desired wishes, for which she requested her husband to make the necessary arrangements to have children. So eventually, they had 9 daughters, as per the original agreement. When Kardama was leaving the home, Devahuti said that knowingly or unknowingly, I have been associating with you, a great devotee of the Supreme Lord. So association with a great devotee does not go in vain. That should lead to fearlessness. Somehow or other, I have been associating with you, but I have not taken your association seriously. Instead, I considered your association as a husband alone. So have been cheated by the Maya, have been bound now. After you go home, you go away from home, your daughters also will go away from home after their marriage. Who will take care of me? What will happen to me? So please do something to bestow fearlessness upon me. She makes a humble request. For which Kardama immediately remembers that the Lord had said that Lord will appear as our son. So same thing he tells to his wife. The Lord will appear you as your son to make necessary arrangements to invite the Lord. Follow Vrata, Dana, perform yajna, give charities, etc. 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 She does the same. Eventually, Lord enters into her home. The news went all over the universe. The Lord Brahma came with all his children, followers, and other great rishis. So Lord Brahma congratulates Devahuti and Kardama and glorifies the service rendered by both of them. And especially, he tells Devahuti, my dear daughter of Manu, don't worry, whatever you have been asking your husband, the fearlessness, that will be given by your son. Your son will become your guru and he will remove all doubts and he will cut the knot of attachment to this material world. If at all you think something is there. So then Lord Brahma looked at Kardama and told, your daughters have come to marriageable age. Why don't you get them married to these Prajapatis? So Kardama gave his 9 daughters in marriage to 9 sons of Brahma, 9 Prajapatis. Angira, Pulaha, Pulasya, Kratu, Rugu, Vashishta, Daksha, not Daksha, others. So marriages are over. Then finally one day, the Supreme Lord made his appearance. So as soon as the Lord appeared, Lord became youthful. So all the samskaras at the time of birth have been performed. Everything has been done. So later on, all the festivities are over. Then one day, when Lord was sitting alone, when his wife Devahuti was away from home for some purpose, so only Kardama and the Supreme Lord were there. And Kardama silently approached the Supreme Lord. My Lord, I wanted to serve you exclusively, but my father instructed me to get married and beget children. And by your birth, by the birth of the 9 daughters, I have liquidated all my debts to my father, the great sages, devatas, and everyone. Now I am a free one, free person. Though I wanted to go to forest after the birth of 9 daughters of mine, but because my wife requested for giving her fearlessness, I have been staying all the while. So now you have appeared. Though you have appeared as my son, but I want to serve you as a Dasya Bhakta. I can't take care of you as a father, showing towards you Vasalya Rasa. That will be very difficult for me. So please give me permission to go to forest so that I can exclusively meditate upon serve you in seclusion. So this was the request of Kardama unto Lord Kapila. And that is where we stopped. And today we'll see what was the response of Lord Kapila. And following the instructions of Lord Kapila, how did Kardama attained perfection and what kind of perfection he attained? And then how Lord Kapila gave fearlessness to Mother Devahuti. That will be the discussion of the remaining part of this chapter and remaining part of this canto. So, in that way. So, let's get into the discussion. One of you can unmute and repeat after me. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Maya proktam hi lokasya.
Maya proktam hi lokasya.
Pramanam satyalaukike.
Pramanam satyalaukike.
Atajani maya tubhyam.
Atajani maya tubhyam.
Yadavocham mrutam mune.
Yadavocham mritam mune. The personality of Godhead Kapila said, "Whatever I speak, whether directly or in the scriptures, is authoritative in all respects for the people of the world. O Muni, because I told you before that I would become your son, I have descended to fulfill this truth."
So Lord Kapila is responding to the request of Kardhama. The Lord says, what is spoken by me is authoritative for the people in general, for the ultimate and worldly affairs. Whatever Lord said, that is useful for us to live properly in this material world and to come back to Godhead. Ultimate means going back to Godhead, and worldly affairs to live properly in this world. Similarly, I have taken birth because of what I have said to you, that I would be your son. Thus, my words are true. O great sage, you want to act according to my wish, since I have said that it is necessary to worship me, giving up everything. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarapapebhyo mokshayishyami masuchaha. So somebody may say that how can he give up the son with the Lord himself? How can he give up his wife? Somebody may say. But the same Lord who appeared as his son he has told in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. One should do that. Ekanta Bhakti at some point of time in one's life. So even though we may think that okay, he's giving up his wife, he's giving up his family, children, so that is a big sin. The Lord says, Aham tam sarva papebhyo moksha ichchami masuchaya. If one gives up for exclusive surrender to Supreme Lord, then Lord will take care. Otherwise, Lord will not take care. Otherwise, it will become sin. So in that way. Certainly, I have said, give up everything in the Gita 1866. That is a proof for the people. This applies to worldly and ultimate affairs also. The worldly principle of taking a wife, stated by Manu and others, is the authoritative statement concerning worldly affairs. So, Manu, in his Manu Samhita, has mentioned that at an appropriate age, a man should accept a wife and then take care of the wife and the children born to them eventually. So that was Varnashrama Dharma, Grihastha Dharma, according to Manusmriti. So that is also my order. The uncommon principle, however, to attain me. But though, so one need to do so many activities to maintain oneself in this world. But the most important activity for one is to come back to Godhead. That is the most important duty for everyone in this world. This is also an authoritative statement for the people uttered by me concerning the highest principle that is known as Bhagavad Dharma. It is stated, Evai Bhagavata Prokta Upayahi Atmalabdaye Anjaha Pumsham Avidusham Viddhi Bhagavatan Hitan. This is from 11th canto, 2nd chapter. Even ignorant living entities can very easily come to know the Supreme Lord if they adopt those means prescribed by the Supreme Lord, and that is known as Bhagavat Dharma. The process recommended by the Lord is known as Bhagavat Dharma. Anjaha Pumshan Avidusham Viddhi Bhagavatam Hitan. It is known as Bhagavat Dharma. So those who take Bhagavat Dharma can easily attain and come back to Godhead. So that is the understanding. Therefore, you have considered things properly in giving up everything and departing to forest. Then Lord gives an example of his own words being authoritative. I took birth because I said to you that I would be your son. That is the truth. Because I mentioned that I will become your son, so now I have become your son. That means whatever I say, I'll do that. So don't think that I simply say and forget it. Something like that. So the Lord is stating that I have become your son because I mentioned you. At the same time, you whatever you want to do is as per my instructions only. That you want to serve the Lord exclusively. So please do it without any apprehension, without any doubt. Like that, Lord is approving the desire of Kardhama. Then Lord continues, Etanme janma lokesmin
एतन्मे जन्म लोकेऽस्मिन्
mumukshunam durashayat
मुमुक्षूणां दुराशयात्
prasankhyanaya tatvanam
प्रसङ्ख्यानाय तत्त्वानां
sammatayatmadarshane.
सम्मतायात्मदर्शने. My appearance in this world is especially to explain the philosophy of Sankhya, which is highly esteemed for self-realization by those desiring freedom from the entanglement of unnecessary material desires.
Please understand that I have appeared in this world to explain the principles suitable for realizing the self for those desiring liberation from the subtle body. In the previous verse, Lord told that I have given two kinds of instructions. One instruction is the ultimate instruction, that is to attain me by the end of the life. The second instruction is to live in harmony with the material nature while living in this material world, following certain rules and regulations. Both are instructed by me. And now, this time I have appeared in order to teach the principles of attaining me, that ultimate dharma, which is also known as Bhagavad Dharma. So please understand that I have appeared in this world to explain the principles suitable for realizing the self for those desiring liberation from the subtle body. That is called Bhagavad Dharma. Here in this section it is called as Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya Tattvanam, Prasankhayana Tattvanam. Basically, Sankhya Tattvanam means Sankhya Yoga. So what is Sankhya Yoga? What kind of Sankhya Yoga Lord Kapila taught and all we will see in the next chapter onwards. But the purpose of Lord coming here is to teach all of us that ultimate process which is known as Bhagavad Dharma, following which we will go back home back to Godhead. That was the purpose of Lord Kapila's appearance. The Lord now explained the reason for his appearance. Please understand, my appearance is to explain the principles of suitable for self, for realizing the self. Sammatayatma darshane, Atma darshane, whatever I am going to teach now is all meant for Atma darshana. For whom? To those who are desiring liberation, mumukshunam, from the sinful subtle body. We have been very strongly bound by our subtle body. Even though our gross body is binding us, but that bondage is only for 60, 70 years. Afterward, this gross body will dwindle away. But our subtle body will not leave us just like that. Subtle body causes strong bondage to all of us. So getting freedom from that subtle body is what should be our goal, the goal of our life. So like that. एष आत्मोपतो व्यक्तो
एष आत्म एष आत्मपतो व्यक्तो
नष्टा कालेन भूयसा
नष्टा कालेन भूयशा
तं प्रवर्तयितुं देहम्
तं प्रवर्तयितुं देहम्
इमं विद्धि मया वृतम्.
imam viddhi maya vritam. The path of self-realization, which is difficult to understand, has now been lost in the course of time. People know that I have assumed this body of Kapila to introduce and explain this philosophy to human society again.
Understand that this path, which was difficult to know, was lost in time. I have taken this form to introduce this knowledge again. Same thing, just like Lord Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, chapter 4 in the beginning. Imam vivashvate yogam proktava najamavyam ikshvaku manave praha manur, sorry, um, manave praha manur ikshvaku abravit. So in that way, so Lord says that whatever I'm speaking to you, I've spoken the same thing to Vivasvan long back. So which was Avya Jnana. So Vivasvan spoke to Manu and Manu spoke to Ikshvaku. But the problem is, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu sakale neha mata yogo nashta parantapa. But in due course of time, because of the influence of time, this yoga law was lost. This knowledge, which was very popular among all, has been lost by the influence of time. So now I have to revive. That's why I'm speaking to you. Same way, when Lord Kapila was there, seems that the knowledge was lost, and Lord Kapila has come to revive it. So in that way. Avyakta means subtle. Though the Lord and his body are non-different from him, spiritual intelligence introduces difference even where there is non-difference. Thus the Lord says that I have taken this body. This is a customary expression. It is like the following statement, which is also cannot be taken literally. So generally, though the text says that I have taken this body, some pravya pravartayitum deham imam viddhi maya brutam. Understand that I have taken this form to introduce this knowledge, which Lord Kapila is telling to Kardhama. So understanding it's not that Lord takes something from somebody else. Whatever is there in this world, everything is Lord's only. Lord already had that form. Lord simply makes it visible to all of us. All forms of the Lord are eternal. It has no birth, it has no death. But when it is required, Lord makes it visible. And when it is not required, Lord makes it invisible. So that is being indicated here. Ajopisan aveyatma bhutana mishwaropisan prakriti swam adhishtaya sambhavami atma maya. So it's like that. So though the Lord is unborn, but he makes his appearance again and again, taking a form which is suitable to the pastimes during that time. So long back, Lord appeared as Ram. Recently, Lord appeared as Krishna, and then very recently, Lord appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like that, here Lord is appearing as Kapila. Whichever is suitable according to place and time. So Lord will make his appearance. Our Lord makes that form visible to one and all. All forms of the Lord are eternal. But from our point of view, it is said that the Lord takes that particular form and makes his appearance. So in that way. So one example is shown in the second canto. Sattvam rajas tamayiti nirgunasya gunatra stiti sarga nirodeshu gruhita maya vibho. It was said that for the purpose of creation, the Supreme Lord accepted Maya made up of three gunas, and with her help, the Supreme Lord executed the creation, maintenance, and annihilation. So now, apparently, it may appear that Lord has taken the help of Maya. That means Maya is separate from the Lord, but Maya is never said to be separate from the Lord. Maya is actually Lord's energy. So Lord is taking his own energy only. So that means he is not taking anything outside of him. He is taking something which is inside of him only. And with that, he is doing whatever he wants to do. So in that way, when Lord is appearing in the form of Kapila means Lord Kapila's form is not something separate from him. It is he only. His form is also there in the spiritual world. It is also eternal. But with that form, in that form he appears now because that is the time for his incarnation. Just like in daily Bhagavatam classes, we are hearing that the scheduled incarnations. So all the incarnations are scheduled at a particular time. That particular Lord will come at that time, perform that pastimes, and go back. So now it is the time of Lord Kapila. He has come. So like that. We'll continue. Gachakamam. Prabhuji.
Here it is in the chapter mentioned as schedule in incarnation. Schedule is Lord is not under the nature. Lord is above the nature, right? Then the schedule is made by Lord, or what is it? What is the meaning of schedule incarnation?
See, though Lord is completely independent, but when Lord comes to this material world, he follows the rules and regulations of this material world. He respects the custom of this material world. Similarly, so Lord's appearance and disappearance are all preordained. They're already scheduled, pre-scheduled. Like we hear, na? At the end of the current Kali Yuga, Lord Kalki will appear. He can appear tomorrow also, but why he does not appear tomorrow or today? He is already scheduled that he will appear at the end of Kali Yuga. Same way, Lord Krishna was scheduled to appear at the end of Dwapara Yuga. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to appear recently at that particular on that particular day. So the Lord's avatars are all scheduled. So Lord comes accordingly, because that was the most necessary time for that pastime to take place. So that way you have to understand.
Okay, bro. Thank you.
Gachakamam maya prushto.
Gachakamam maya prushto.
Mayi sanyasta karmana.
Mayi sanyasta karmana.
Jitva sudurjayam mrityum.
Jitva sudurjayam mrityum.
Amrutatvaya mambaja.
Amrutatvaya mambaja. Now, being sanctioned by me, go as you desire. Surrendered all your activities to me, conquering insurmountable death. Worship me for eternal life.
You have requested me, so then depart when you please. Having conquered unconquerable death by offering your activities unto me, you should worship me for attaining immortality. Amrutatvaya mambaja. Just you are asking to go, I am asking you to stay. It would be harsh for me to tell you to go. And even if you stay here, your desire will be fulfilled. If you are determined to go, then go as you wish. Worship me for attaining immortality. So Lord Kapila says that, my dear father, you don't have to go to forest. You can stay here and do whatever you want. But still, if you prefer to go to forest and do whatever you want, still you can go. But I cannot say myself that you should go. If you desire to go, you please go ahead, no problem. So in that way. But when you go there, you do the necessary things for attaining immortality. This recalls the Shrutis text. Avidyaya murtyum tirtva vidyaya amrutam asnute. By karma, cross over the obstacles, and by jnana, attain eternal life. This is from Ishopanishad. So by the practice of Nishkama Karma Yoga, one should overcome all the material obstacles, especially the cause of bondages. One should free oneself from the causes of different bondages. One should free one's own heart from different anarthas. And then by the practice of jnana, one should attain liberation, immortality. This is a text from Upanishads. Or you will not have birth again because of my association. Since you have already attained the position of my father, don't think that you have any bondage. You are already liberated. But still, if you want to go to forest and perform some exclusive bhakti, no problem, you can go ahead. But don't think that you are in a bound state. You are already liberated just by becoming my father. Since you will have attained a position as my associate, having birth only in the sense of Lord Rama and Lord Krishna take birth, though they are without death. Since you have already attained the position of my father, you are already liberated. You already become Nitya Mukta. So rest all are some details only. You being here in this material world, you performing all these activities are like Lord coming into this material world and performing different activities. So Lord's activities never bind him. Similarly, a devotee's activities never bind him. That's how one should understand. A poor devotee's activities never bind that pure devotee. Because that pure devotee is already on the liberated platform. So that such a pure devotee being in this material world is like the Supreme Lord in the material world. So that's how the understanding is given. Then, how to worship the Lord for immortality? Lord told that Amrutatvaya bhaje, Mam bhaje Amrutatvaya. So worship me for the attaining immortality. So how to worship the Lord for attaining immortality? And what do you mean by attaining immortality? As a result of worshipping the Lord. That will be explained in the next two verses. Mam Atmanam Swayam Jyotir
Mam Atmanam Swayam
Sarvabhuta Guhashayam
Bhuta Guhasayam
Atmanyevatmana Viksha
Neva Atmana Viksha
Vishoko Vayamarchasi.
O Abhayam Archati. Translation: in your own heart, through your intellect, you will always see me, the Supreme Self-Effulgent Soul, dwelling within the hearts of all living entities. Thus, you will achieve the state of eternal life, free from all lamentation and fear. Correct.
Seeing me, the self-effulgent, dwelling in the hearts of all living entities, as Antaryami, in your heart by your intelligence, free from lamentation, you will achieve fearlessness. Abhayam. How? Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na akankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim lavate param. So how to come to that Brahmabhuta platform where one will be able to see the manifestation of Paramatma in every entity like this. So by the practice of exclusive bhakti upon me, one day you will see me, the self-effulgent Lord, dwelling in the hearts of all living entities as Antaryami, within your own heart, and you will experience no lamentation, and you will achieve fearlessness. Na sochati, na kankshati. There will be no lamentation, there will be no anchoring, and you will be completely in fearless situation. So that will happen very soon. So Lord is predicting what will happen in the life of Kardhama. So what kind of form Kardhama is going to see within the core of his heart? This form has been mentioned in the second canto, second chapter. Kechi swadehanta hridayavakashe pradesha matram purusham vasantam. Chaturbhujam kanja ratanga shanka gadadaram dharanaya samanti. There is a form within the core of the heart. That form will have four hands, and the four hands will hold Kanja, Ratanga, Shanka, Gada. Shanka, Chakra, Shanka, Chakra, Gada, Padma. Kanja means Padma. So, and then what is the specialty of that form? Swadehanta Hrudayavakashi. This form is situated within the heart of a person. How big is that form? Pradesha Matram. The size of that form is equal to some 9 inches. Whatever will be the size of one's fist, that is called Pradesha. And that is the size of the heart of any person. Bhagavatam says that every person will have a heart in their chest whose size is equal to the size of the fist, size of each person. Whatever would be the size of our fist, that will be the size of our heart. And that fist, that heart dimensions are known as Pradesha Matram. And that was the size of Paramatma. We generally say that Paramatma is situated within the core of the heart. But in which part of the heart is there? Anywhere it can be there in the heart. So whatever the total size of heart, in that entire place, anywhere Paramatma can be there. Paramatma can be there throughout the area, throughout the heart also. That's why it is said that whatever is the size of the heart, that much is the size of the Paramatma. Pradesha Matram. So what kind of Paramatma is there? Purusham Vasantam. He is known as Purusha. He is one of the Purusha avatars. And Vasantam, he is in a newly blossomed youthful form. Like Vasantam means the spring season, newly blossoming flowers will come, something like that. Others conceive of the Lord residing within the body in the region of the heart and measuring only 8 inches, with 4 hands carrying a lotus, wheel of a chariot, conch shell, and club, respectively. Purusham Vatanta means a youthful Purushavatara form, like that. That was the form of Paramatma. The Lord is saying that you will see the Antaryami, Lord Shukla. So since it is Satya Yuga, the Lord is known as Shukla that time, Shukla Avatara. Within yourself, by your own intelligence. By your own intelligence, you will see me within the core of your heart as Paramatma, consisting of 4 hands, holding Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, whose form is situated within the core of the heart, which occupies a place of one Pradesha, and who looks youthful, who is a youthful personality. In that way, that is the description of Paramatma. One should see within one's own heart. And finally, he says that, my dear father, don't worry. You please go and you practice your bhakti. I will take care of my mother. I will take the responsibility of my mother completely. And don't worry about my mother, about your wife. So Lord Kapila is giving assurance to his father, so that father can go to forest and practice his bhakti very peacefully. Matra adhyatmikim vidyam
मात्रा आध्यात्मिकीं विद्यां
shamanim sarvakarmanam
शमनीं सर्वकर्मणां
vitarishyaya chasau
वितरिष्येया चासौ
भयं चातितरिष्यति.
भयं चातितरिष्यति. Translation: I shall also describe this sublime knowledge, which is the door to spiritual life, to my mother, so that she also can attain perfection and self-realization, ending all reactions to fruitive activities. Thus, she also will be free from all material fear.
So here Lord is saying, I will give to my mother spiritual knowledge, adhyatmiki vidya, which will end all karmas, shamanim sarva karmanam, by which she will also attain fearlessness. Cha asau bhayam cha atirishyati. Just like you will attain advayam, she will also overcome fear and attain fearlessness by this knowledge, which is known as adhyatmika vidya, the spiritual knowledge. Because I am the Lord acting as her son, you do not have to worry about her well-being. I will take care of her completely. You better peacefully go to forest and do your bhakti. Like that, Lord is actually giving assurance to his father Kardhama. So this is how the Supreme Lord had instructed Kardhama to go to forest and practice his bhakti peacefully. And at the end of the practice, he will be able to see the Paramatma within the core of his heart. So like that is it. मैत्रेय उवाच
मैत्रेय उवाच
एवं समुदितस्तेन
एवं समदुतिस्तेन
कल्पिते कपिलेन प्रजापतिः
कपिलेन प्रजापति
दक्षिणीकृत्य तं प्रीतो
दक्षिणीकृत्य तं प्रीतो
वनम् एव जगामः.
वनम् एव जगामः.
After
Translation:
Lord,
Sri Maitri.
continue, Prabhu.
Translation: Sri Maitreya said, thus when Kardhama Muni, the progenitor of human society, was spoken to in fullness by his son Kapila, he circumambulated him, and with a good pacified mind, he at once left for the forest.
After Lord Kapila had spoken to him in this way, Kardhama praised, circumambulated him, and left to the forest. So Kardama, though he is his son, since he is the Supreme Lord, he made 3 or 4 circumambulations and then went to forest. Then what did he do in the forest? Vratam sa astito maunam.
Vritam sa astito maunam.
Atmaika sharano munihi.
Atmaika sarano munihi.
Nissango vecharat kshonim.
Nissango vecharat shonim
Anagneranikeetana.
anagne aniketanaha. The says Kardama accepted silence as a vow in order to think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and take shelter of Him exclusively. Without association, he traveled over the surface of the globe as a sannyasi, devoid of any relationship with fire or shelter.
Accepting the vow of silence. Vratam astito maunam. Taking exclusive shelter of the Lord. Atmaika sharano munihi. Kardama wandered the earth alone. Nistango vecharat kshonim. Nistango means no companion. He went alone. Without fire and without shelter. Anagnir aniketanaha. This is one of the important principle of Vanaprastha. So Vanaprasthas are not supposed to lit fire and not supposed to construct homes and live in the homes. So they are supposed to live in Vana, in the trees or gufas or something like that only. But on the contrary, the grihasthas are supposed to have home and fire. Fire is meant for 2 purposes. One is for performing yajna, other one is for cooking purposes. So especially in some of the community of the Brahmanas, the yajna should go on continuously. They are called Agnihotri Brahmanas. Or there should be at least one lamp should continuously chelta rehna chahiye. Should go on continuously. So that is called as what do you call that? If the lamp is continuously burning in one's home, Akanda Jyoti,
Akanda Deepam.
Akanda Deepam or Akanda Jyoti, etc.
Akhanda
Even they
Diyam,
say, yeah, in the Badrika Ashram also that kind of diya is continuously going on. Even the temple is closed for 6 months, that diya is continuously going on. So that is being considered one of the important aspect of the Grihastha. So the fire should never extinguish in the house of Grihasthas. So in that way. But Vanaprastha should never lit fire. That means Vanaprastha should never eat anything cooked. He should eat only raw, which fell from the plants. He should not pluck also from the trees. Whatever fruits fell from the plant which are there on the surface of the ground, they should collect and then eat. Food or grains or whatever. So that these are some of the strict rules for Vanaprasthas. So he lived like that as he was in the forest. Mano Brahmani Yunjano.
Mano Brahmani Unjano,
Yattas Sat Asatparam Asatparam
Yattat Sat Asatat Param,
Gunavabhase Vigune
Gunavabhashe Vigune,
Eka Bhaktyanubhavite.
Eka Bhaktyanubhavite. He fixed his mind upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Parabrahman, who is beyond cause and effect, who manifests the 3 modes of material nature, who is beyond those 3 modes, and who is perceived only through unfailing devotional service.
Kardama fixed his mind on the Brahman, Bhagavan, which is beyond auspicious and inauspiciousness, which has spiritual qualities and which is devoid of material qualities and which is realized by pure bhakti. So that means Kardama, while wandering in the forest, exclusively meditated upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond good and bad, who only possesses spiritual qualities but no material qualities, and who is realized only by pure bhakti. He was able to meditate upon Bhagavan means he almost realized Bhagavan. So in that way. Smartavyo satam Vishnu, Vismartavyo na jatujit. Always one should remember Lord Vishnu. That should be the end goal of our life. That Kardhama attained it. Kardhama fixed his mind which was beyond auspiciousness and inauspicious objects. What was the Brahman like? It had a manifestation of spiritual qualities such as beauty, sweetness, and power, and was devoid of material gunas. It was realized by his senses through pure bhakti. So Kardama already realized the Supreme Personality of God by the execution of pure bhakti. Then what else happened to him? Nirahankritir nirmamascha
Nirahankartir
niravadvaha samadruk swadruk
Niradvantaha Dvandva Samadrisvadrik
प्रत्यक प्रशांत धीर धीरः
Pratyak Prashanta Dhiraha
प्रशान्तोर्मेरिवोदधि.
Prashantorvir Ivodadihi. Thus he gradually became unaffected by the false ego of material identity and became free from material affection. Undisturbed, equal to everyone and without duality, he could indeed see himself also. His mind was turned inward and was perfectly calm, like an ocean unagitated by the waves.
He was devoid of false ego and possessiveness and did not see with duality. He regarded everything equally and perceived the state of bhakti within himself. His intelligence was peaceful, not functioning externally. He was completely sober, like an ocean without waves. Like Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, one of the last verses also says about this concept. The Sita Prajna, his intelligence is like that of the ocean. Even though on the surface there are so many waves, but the ocean never goes out of order. Something like that. So these are different attributes that he is manifesting. That means he attained all these wonderful qualities of tranquility. He was detached from material objects. He was devoid of ahankara and possessiveness. So na sochati na kankshati. No desire to possess something and no concept of saying that this is mine, that is mine. He has no ahankara. He has nothing to say this is mine, that is mine, and he has nothing to say that I am this, I am that. So he had completely detached from this material world. He could see within himself how much bhakti had arisen and how much it would arise in future. Swadrak. He was able to understand at what state he is situated. What amount of bhakti is there within him and what amount of bhakti is going to manifest in him. He is able to understand it. He was devoid of external functioning. His intelligence was completely peaceful. So these were the conditions or the state of consciousness of Kardama. Having practiced exclusive bhakti, traveling from one forest to other forest, one forest to other forest, he already realized Bhagavan, who is situated as Paramatma in the core of his heart, and he also attained all these wonderful qualities. No ahankara, no mamakara, and no attachment. He is situated beyond duality of this material world. He is seeing everything equally, and he is able to see within himself what is his state of condition, and is completely peaceful, and his intelligence is completely focused on Krishna, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, and he has become Dhira, and he is completely peaceful, Prashanta. So these are all like a different, like ocean is completely peaceful like the ocean. Though so many rivers are entering into ocean, there are so many waves on the surface of the ocean, but ocean remains where he is. It does not go because so many rivers are entering me. Now I'll go to some other place like that. Ocean will not go. That's how He remained completely peaceful. This is the state of Kardama.
Krishna Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.
in previous sloka verse, it is mentioned that Kardama Muni fixed his mind on Parabrahman. So Parabrahman is Paramatma or
No, it is Bhagavan only. It is the Supreme Lord who is situated in the core of the heart as Paramatma. So in that way it is said Parabrahman. In Sanskrit, even though see, from our Bhakti point of view, even though Sanskrit shloka may say Brahman, but we should consider to be Bhagavan only. Brahman means Brahman also, Brahman means Paramatma also, Brahman means Bhagavan also. These words are used interchangeably. So like that. Since he is seeing Bhagavan within himself, that means he is seeing Paramatma. That's how we have to understand. Okay, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay, thank you.
So, how did this remarkable state suddenly appeared within Kardhama? How could Kardhama came to this kind of transcendental state, Brahmabhuta platform that is mentioned now? Vasudeve Bhagavati
Vasudeve Bhagavati
Sarvagne Pratyagatmani
Pratyagya Atmani
Parena Bhakti Bhavena
Bhakti Bhavena
Labdhatma Mukta Bandhana.
Atma Mukta Bandhana. Translation. He thus became liberated from conditioned life and became self-situated in transcendental devotional service to the personality of Godhead Vasudev, the omniscient supreme super soul within everyone. Hare Krishna.
So, attaining spiritual mind and intelligence, Kardama absorbed those elements in the Supreme Lord, omniscient Vasudeva, the soul of all living entities, by Prema Bhakti, and achieved liberation from all bondage. How could he achieve this? Because he could invest his mind and intelligence upon the Supreme Lord completely. Bhakti Bhavena. So, what was that? Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text number 7. Anyone remembers? Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text number 7.
Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajam yukta kaleram.
So that was sixth verse. Antakale cha mamecha is fifth one, yam yam vapi sixth one, the next one, seventh one.
Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu.
Full verse.
Tashmas kaseshu kaleshu.
माम अनुस्मर युद्ध च
उसके बाद श्लोका means 4 lines will be
मय्यर्पित
there.
मन मय्यर्पित मनोबुद्धि
मयि अर्पित मनोबुद्धिर माम एवेषि असंशयः.
तस्मा सर्वेषु कालेषु माम अनुस्मर युध्यचा. That means one should meditate upon the Supreme Lord at all times. Mam anusmara sarveshu kaleshu. Then what happens? How one can do this? Mai arpita manobuddhir. By offering one's mind and intelligence upon the Supreme Lord. Without offering one's mind and intelligence to the Supreme Lord, one cannot be able to meditate upon the Supreme Lord continuously. That is not possible at all. Same thing here he did. So by doing that, what will happen? Mam eva eshasi asamshayam. Without any doubt, you will come to me. So before going to the Lord, one will see the Lord within the core of one's heart. That is what Kardama is doing now. So in this verse, he is seeing the Lord within the core of his heart as Paramatma. The next verse, we may see that he'll go back to Godhead. When one comes to this platform, the next immediate thing is one will go back to Godhead. That is what happens to Kardama. This is how it happens. After destroying material mind, intelligence, and consciousness with the destruction of the subtle body, Kardama regained them in spiritual form. So whatever subtle body we have, Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chetana, currently it is materially associated. It is attracted to material activities. When those material desires or material activities are completely destroyed, the same manbuddhi ahankara chetana will become attracted to spiritual activities. Then these four antakaranas will become spiritual. That will be our spiritual form. So like that. With those four elements, manbuddhi ahankara chetana, which are completely spiritualized, in that spiritualized state of these four antakaranas, Kardhama absorbed himself in Lord Vasudeva by the supreme bhava produced through worship or prema. Because Kardhama had come to the prema bhakti platform, these four antakaranas are completely purified. With those four antakaranas, he was able to meditate upon the Supreme Lord continuously. He was able to see the Lord continuously within the core of his heart with the help of his man, buddhi, ahankara, chetana. Pratyagatma means the soul or the jiva. The mind and intelligence were previously cause of bondage, but because now they are purified, in the purified state, the same mind, intelligence, ahankara, chetana will be the cause of one's liberation. Manahi Manushanam Purusha Bandha Mokshayo. It is the mind is the cause of bondage and is the mind which is the cause of liberation. When the mind is attached to material things, it causes bondage. When the same mind is attached to Supreme Lord, it causes liberation. Manayeva Manushanam Karanam Bandha Mokshayo. So like that, it comes many places in Bhagavad Gita and other texts. It is said, Anavritti Shabdat, according to the scriptures, one does not return to bondage. Anavritti Shabdat means by following the instructions of the scriptures, like Bhagavad Gita, which says, Tasma Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manaspura Yuddhacha Mayarpita Manobuddhir. Mayarpita Manobuddhir Tasma Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manusmara. If one follow this instruction of the Vedic literatures, Vedic scriptures, Mam Eva Ishyasi Asamshayam, and afterwards, one will does not return. Yat Gatva Na Nivartante Taddama Paramam Mama. Mam Upeshatu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. Anavurti Shabda. By following the instructions of Shabda, when one comes to this point, one will go back home back to Godhead, then one will never return to this material world. That is the understanding of this Vedanta Sutra. It is like that.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, this four antakarana, mana, buddhi, ahankara and chitta. Is when it is used in material things, then it creates bondage. When it is in service of Lord, then it will become transcendent. Then it becomes spiritual, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, thank you.
But not using them one time. We should be able to use them continuously. When we use them continuously, then they'll become spiritual.
Okay, 24 hours. Yes.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Prabhuji.
Your voice has gone. We are not able to hear you.
Oh. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, Kardhama Muni got Bhagwan Kapil as his son. Means the Bhagwan means not Paramatma, not Brahman. Directly Bhagwan is getting as his son. So why did he go for all this lengthy procedure? Means, I mean, the self-realization and all these.
To teach all of us. He is doing this so that we get an understanding of how to do bhakti in Vanaprastha order.
Oh.
If no one does, how do we understand how to do bhakti in Vanaprastha order?
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji.
That's how we have to understand. Atmanam sarva bhuteshu
Atmanam sarvabhuteshu
Bhagavantam avasthitam
bhagavantam avastitam
apashya sarvabhutani
apashyat sarvabhutani
bhagavat apichatmani.
bhagavat apichatmani. He began to see that Supreme Personality of Godhead is seated in everyone's heart and that everyone is existing on him because he is the super soul of everyone.
Kardama saw the Antaryami situated within all living beings and saw all living beings situated within Mahavishnu. So in the previous verses, he was seeing the Supreme Lord as Paramatma within his own heart. And now, because since he has progressed further, he is able to see Paramatma situated in each and every living entity. And also, he is seeing every living entity situated within the Supreme Lord. That is Lord Mahavishnu. How? Kardama saw the Lord directly. He saw the Antaryami of all, Kshodaksha Vishnu, the third Purushavatara, situated in all living entities. This was Bhagavan, the four-armed Lord, known as Lord Shukla, the avatar of Satyayuga, the deity of Kardama's worship. From the very beginning, Kardama was continuously worshipping Lord Shukla, and that Lord Shukla only appeared to him and blessed him previously, and that Shukla only appeared as his son, Lord Kapila. And now Kardama is seeing that Shukla only within the core of his own heart, within the heart of each and every living entity in the forest. He is seeing birds, he is seeing snakes, tigers, lions, monkeys, and plants, grasses, trees, everywhere he is seeing Paramatma in the heart of each and every living entity. Vyomam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pashyati. Those who are able to see Paramatma in everything, then they will see everything in Paramatma also. Then Kardama saw all beings situated in the universe, situated in universes, emerging from Mahavishnu's air pores within the Antaryami of Prakriti, Karanodakshaya Vishnu, the first Purusha, by eyes produced through yoga. Just like Arjuna, being blessed by Lord Krishna, was able to see the entire universal form. So in that universal form, Arjuna was able to see Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, everyone. Even what to speak of everyone in the upper skies. He was seeing everyone in the battlefield also. He was seeing Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Shalya entering into the mouth of the universal form. He is seeing all other warriors, this, that, everyone entering, fighting and killing each other, entering into the mouth and being crushed by the teeth of the universal form. So he saw the entire universe within that universal form. So like that. Here Kardama, not only seeing one universe, he is seeing unlimited universes situated various skin pores of Mahavishnu. That means he is seeing Mahavishnu, he is seeing unlimited universes, he is seeing unlimited living entities living in unlimited universes. सबको देख रहा है. That means Kardama attained Maha universal vision, not one universe vision, all universes vision he got. Being situated there, he is able to see everything that is there in the entire material creation. Kardama is described to be more advanced than the yogis who get gradual liberation described in the second canto. The yogi giving up his gross body, desiring to see everything within the universe, goes to each and every place and sees every place and then moves ahead, eventually attains liberation. This was known as Krama Mukti. Second canto, second chapter describes some yogis who wanted to attain liberation. Before that, they want to see the entire universe. So following the path of Surya, they travels all the 14 lokas and finally passing through the 7 layers of the universe, they enter into Brahman. That will take a lot of time. So they have to go to each and every place to see. But Kardama, being situated within one place, he is not only seeing our universe, but he is seeing all the universes manifested by Mahavishnu. And he is seeing Mahavishnu also. That is the greatness of Kardama. Kardama, however, without desire to see anything, while situated in this world, he saw all beings in the air holes of Mahavishnu outside the universe in the Karana ocean. That is the greatness of Kardama. Kardama's great bhakti is he is able to see the entire, all the unlimited crores of universes all together at one go, at one place, being blessed by the Supreme Lord. The form Isa was the four-armed form of Lord Vishnu, that is known as Mahavishnu, who also appeared as Lord Shukla to Kardama from the very beginning, with the object of Kardama's worship. Mother Yashoda saw all beings within Lord Krishna's mouth. It should be understood, however, that seeing the powerful form of Lord Vishnu was suitable to Kardama, who worshipped that powerful form. So Mother Yashoda was not happy by looking at that universal form within the mouth of Lord Krishna. But here Kardama becomes happy because Kardama was always worshipping the Lord's Aishwarya. He was a Dasya Bhakta. Even though Supreme Lord appeared as his own son, he was not willing to worship the Lord as Vasalya Bhakta. Instead, he was willing to serve the Lord as a Dasya Bhakta. So this is the highest, what we can say, the maximum attainment of a Dasya Bhakta. Dasya Bhakta is able to see the Supreme Lord with the call of the entire creation, Mahavishnu. He is having the darshan of Mahavishnu, with the source of unlimited universes. So this is the maximum blessing one can, a Dasya Bhakta can think of, that is attained to Kardama. So he had darshan of, so 1 second, he had darshan of Kshirodakshaya Vishnu within his own heart. He could see Kshirodakshaya Vishnu in the heart of each and every living entity in the forest. And he could see Mahavishnu, who is the source of unlimited universes, along with all the universes, along with their living entities. And there is nothing left for him to see. Having seen the entire material universe, then he will go back to spiritual world. This is what one simple, while preparing this, I was just I'm thinking like this. Jiva comes to material world just to explore this material world. So Jiva has a curiosity. There is something called as the material world. Let me go and see. So Jiva comes here, he sees Bhuloka, then Bhurloka, Swargaloka, Maharloka, Janloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Patala, and then universe 1, universe 2, universe 3, universe 4, universe 5, like that. Jiva passes through different universes and different lokas within each and every universe and different species within each loka. Because Jiva want to explore what is this, what is that, what is this. And then Jiva will go back to Godhead. Once everything is done, he will go back to Godhead. But Kardama, without going through all those things, he is seeing everything at one go. He is seeing all the universes and all the lokas within all universes, all the living entities within each loka of each universe, and then his curiosity has been fulfilled, and he will go back to spiritual world. That is explained in the last verse. So this is like that. We have to understand. Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Huh.
After you are explaining like that.
Your voice is not clear, Prabhuji. I'm not able to follow.
Hare Bol.
Yes.
Now you are able to.
Like
you are explaining like how this is the highest Dasya Bhakta can achieve. So like in what sense, like you are like we also see that Hanumanji, it is said the Hanumanji has reached the paramount of Dasya Bhakti because the reciprocation and love which he experienced in Dasya is it or not Ram is the highest. So how do we see both Kardhama Muni and Hanuman's reciprocation in the laws?
Who is Lord Ram for Hanumanji? How did Hanuman treat Lord Ram as?
He is the Lord of his heart.
Means what? What do you mean by Lord of his heart?
He is the source of everything. Like he is for him the supreme Bhagwan, source of everything.
Same thing. So when you understand that someone is the source of everything, someone is the cause of everything, someone is the Lord of everyone and everything, we accept him as a worshipable deity. That is the ultimate stand of Dasya Bhakti. So one thing is you are theoretically understanding. Other thing is you are realizing it practically. So Kardama is realizing it practically. He is seeing how Mahavishnu is the source of everything, how he is the Lord of everything. Then what else? Somehow or other, one day We have to have the realization of what we are hearing day to day. We every day we are hearing so many things from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita and all. As of now, we are simply hearing. We are only theoretically understanding. Our theoretical understanding should become a practical realization one day. Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhu.
That is what is happening to Kardhama now.
Okay, so it is not that we compare, like both of them are they are completely satisfied with whatever reciprocation they got from the Lord.
Yes. When Lord Rama embraced Hanumanji, Hanumanji realized it, who Lord Rama was completely. Before that, he had complete understanding theoretically. But when Lord Rama embraced, Lord Rama says, I don't have anything to give you, but I give you myself to you. Yes or no? After coming back from
Yes.
Lanka. So what do you
Yes.
mean by giving myself to you?
Giving the complete realization and
Complete realization of the Lord. So Hanumanji got complete realization of Supreme Lord then and there. Not that before that he did not have. Before that he had. So I mean, at least from our point of view, as a sadhaka, if you treat Hanumanji, he had theoretical understanding. But now at that point of time, he had a complete practical understanding, practical realization. So like that we should understand.
Okay. And also you mentioned that the worshipable deity of Kardhama Muni was Shukla. This Shukla is this the Lord will be having a 400 form in the Vaikuntha, right? One of the forms in the Vaikuntha.
See, the Lord is known as Lord Shukla during Satya Yuga. The Yuga Avatara for Satya Yuga is Shukla. Generally, the Lord is worshipped as Shukla in the Satya Yuga. That's why the Shukla word comes again and again in this chapter.
So this is not the name of the Lord, just this complexion of the Lord is mentioned,
No.
right?
Name of the Lord also Shukla. His complexion is also Shukla. It is there.
Okay. And like
See,
what?
it is like for the current Manvantara, the Manvantara Avatara is Lord Vamana. But the same Manvantara Avatara can come in various avataras according to time, place, circumstance. You can have other names also. But there is one basic name for the responsible person during that Yuga or during that Manvantara, something like that. So in that way, it's called Shukla. So this comes in the 11th canto. The Yugavataras and their names and all comes in the 11th or 12th canto. So if you read that, you will understand. In each Yuga, Lord has a special name.
Oh, and like you also explaining that in a Krama Mukti, like the Jiva goes to different universe also, like it goes only to the different planet within the universe and then gets to liberation.
If Jiva wants to go to other universe, he will go. It's up to the Jiva, according to the Icha of Jiva.
So if a Jiva has completely seen this universe and a desire to see other universe, so he will go and keep exploring other universe also.
Oh, obviously.
There
Even
are
some of us
unlimited
also, if you are
universes.
fed up with this universe, hey, this universe is full of miseries, I'll go to some other universe where there are no miseries. So next creation will go to other universe.
So this is based on the Jivas desire, we can go to other universe, or like is there some wish of the
Jiva's
Lord that
desire and Jiva's deserving capacity also. He should desire also, he should also deserve to go to other place also. Both should be there. Just by that does not happen. Just if you may desire that, I want to have this, I want to have this. You may have desire, but you should also qualify to get that. Both should be there. Okay, Bruce.
So this is applicable to all Jivas, right?
Applicable to all, but every many may desire, but everyone will not get it. Only those who are qualified to get it, they will get it.
And is it that our universe is so smaller than the other universe are bigger? So there are many other 14, more than
See,
14 times.
it does not matter, Roji. Whether less or more, it does not matter. If some jiva has a desire to see other universe or go there, if one has the qualification, one will be sent there. It is as simple as that. For example, you may
Prabhu.
desire that I want to become IAS officer. Will you become tomorrow IAS officer?
No.
You have to work hard for it.
Yes.
You have to clear the necessary exams. You have to go through the training program, all these things. So, like that, you have to understand.
Okay. Prabhu.
Okay, we'll go ahead.
Okay.
Ichcha
Okay.
dvesha vihinena
इच्छा द्वेष विहीनेन
sarvatra samachetasa
तत्र समचेतसा
bhagavad bhakti yuktena
भगवद्भक्तियुक्तेन
prapta bhagavati gatihi.
प्राप्ता भागवती गतिः. Freed from all hatred and desire, Kardhama Muni, being equal to everyone because of discharging uncontaminated devotional service, ultimately attained the path back to Godhead.
Free from desire and hatred towards everything in the material world, with mind seeing everything as equal, by pure bhakti for the Supreme Lord, Kardhama attained the position of an associate of the Supreme Lord in the spiritual world. So Kardhama went to spiritual world and became an associate of Supreme Lord. Kardhama was free of desire and hatred. Na sochati, na kankshati, no ichcha dvesha. Ichcha dvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata. It is our ichcha and dvesha will bind us within the dualities of this material world. When we become free from ichcha dvesha, we are qualified to go back, come back to Godhead. So no ichcha, no dvesha means I don't want to have anything. Whatever others may have, I have nothing to do with it. I am not at all envious of others who has so many things in this material world. And I personally don't want to have anything. So when we come to this consciousness, we are ready to go back, come back to Godhead. These two things only binding us, all of us, in this material world. And sarvatra samachetasa. Everywhere we should have equanimity of mind. Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. What were the other words? Brahmane gavi astini. Suni chaiva supakecha pandita samadarshana. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavi astini. So pandita samadarshana. We should have samadarshana mentality. Then how is that possible? Bhagavad Bhakti Yuktena. It is all possible only by Bhagavad Bhakti. So when by practicing Bhagavad Bhakti, when we come to this state of consciousness, freed from Ichcha Dvesha and able to see everything equally, the manifestation of Paramatma in everything and manifestation of everything within Paramatma, then the next instant we are qualified to go back, come back to Godhead. So Kardhama was free of desire and hatred because everything in the material world was inferior for him. He has no attraction toward things in the material world. Because of that, he saw everything equally. He then attained the goal of becoming an associate of the Supreme Lord. Bhagavati Gati. Another version has Bhagavatim Gatim Praptaha. Kardhama, with an equal mind, attained the spiritual goal. Basically, Kardhama went back to spiritual world where Lord Kapila eternally resides. Kardhama went to that Vaikunta where Lord Shukla or Lord Kapila eternally resides. And he went there and he engaged himself in the Dasya Bhakti of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for the rest of eternity. So this is the result Kardhama attained by following the instructions of Lord Kapila. Okay, this is how this chapter is completed. Any questions by other devotees till now?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, कर्दम मुनि उनका इच्छा के हिसाब से उन्होंने भगवान से परमिशन लेकर के वो वानप्रस्थ जीवन स्वीकार किया। भगवान को मतलब डिजायर नहीं था, फिर भी वो उन्होंने इच्छा प्रकट किया करके उन्होंने सैंक्शन किया। अभी इसको कैसे हम अपना जीवन में समझे? मतलब हम एक प्रकार से सेवा करना चाहते हैं, बट अथॉरिटीज की कुछ अलग तरीके से सेवा करने के लिए वो बोलते हैं या गुरु बोलते हैं, तो हम अपना इच्छा से करें या गुरु के इच्छा से करें, मतलब यहाँ पर कुछ अलग दिशा में हम समझ में आ रहे हैं। और अर्जुन और भगवान कृष्ण के गीता के उपदेश के अनुसार उन्होंने ओबे किया, भगवान का इंस्ट्रक्शन को ओबे किया। जैसे ही प्रियव्रत भी वो 99 अश्वमेध यज्ञ किया, 100 करना चाहता था, बट वो ब्रह्मा जी ने बोला करके रोक दिया। तो ये सारे कंडीशंस अलग अलग लेसन्स दे रहा है। तो हम अपना जीवन में हम अपना इच्छा से करें भक्ति या सेवा या क्या करें, वो क्योंकि हमारा हर एक का अलग अलग टेंडेंसी रहता है, उस स्वभाव के अनुसार ही हम सेवा करते हैं। तो उस स्वभाव के अनुसार हमें करना है या शास्त्र के अनुसार या उस समय जो जरूरत है।
Kardhama followed the instruction of Lord Brahma very seriously, very sincerely, to the extent of more than expected. Lord Brahma himself says, I am very much satisfied with you. I only requested you to beget children who will populate the universe. But you have executed in such a way that the Supreme Lord had going to become your son. So he followed the instructions of his father and guru more than expected, more than required. And after that, he wanted to serve the Lord exclusively. And that too is not doing on his own. For that also, he is asking permission from his own son. Who, by the way, is the Supreme Lord now. So that is very clear. So we may have so many desires, but we need to follow the instructions of authorities. When the instructions of authorities are executed, then we can, with the permission, with the approval, we can execute the way we want.
Okay.
And at least from Kardhama Muni's life, you can understand like this. Other devotees, anyone has any question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam Prabhuji.
Prabhuji,
you have told that Kardhama Muni have worshipped Lord in the form in Dasya Bhav. So he's his son. So Prabhuji, how can you explain it more?
No, he did not worship his son. He was worshipping the Lord from the beginning of his birth. But when Lord appeared as his son, he felt it uncomfortable. अभी अपना पुत्र को दास्य भाव में कैसे सेवा कर पाएंगे? Then immediately asked, within 1 week time only, he asked the Lord, my dear Lord, it is becoming very difficult for me. I want to go to forest and worship you in exclusive dasya bhav.
Prabhuji, but he's a yogi, na? He's a yogi.
कौन वो योगी कौन बोला? He is yogi करके who told? He is a devotee ना, he is not a yogi.
He is not a yogi.
How
वो
are you
तपस्या
coming?
वगैरह किया था ना, उन्होंने तपस्या वगैरह किया था ना प्रभुजी.
See, what is the process of bhakti in Satya Yuga?
तपस्या.
That is bhakti. Just now, just like in Kali Yuga, we are all chanting on the beats. So in Satya Yuga, they would do tapasya. That is equal to chanting on the beats.
Okay.
Just because he is doing tapasya, because he cannot become yogi. By the way, yogis also do tapasya. That is a different thing. But that was the means of bhakti, execution of bhakti during the Satya Yuga. And don't think that he also should take a bead bag and chant on beats. Yeah, yes,
But
Mataji.
Prabhuji, he got all that aerial mansion and all with the yogic siddhi only, na?
No, it's okay. He was able to do this through yogic siddhi, and all of you are able to construct buildings with money, which all of you may be electrical engineers, computer engineers, this engineer, that engineer. You have some techniques, and you work in the office and earn a lot of money. That money will be converted into building in South Mumbai, Central Mumbai, Andheri, Borivali, here and there, etc. And you are also constructing aerial mansion on the 50th story. You are also a yogi from Kali Yuga point of view. At least on the seashore, those who have the be a flat on the topmost floor of the multi-story building, they are great yogi in one sense, because they have to pay a lot of money for that. So all of you are also yogis in that sense. All of you also have your own aerial mansions, which may not fly, but which are there on the top floor. So like that. See, in every age, people are endowed with certain abilities. So their lifestyle will be accordingly. So in those yugas, they were endowed with that mystic siddhis because that yuga is like that. Everyone, not only Kardhama, in that yuga, everyone would be endowed with all the mystic siddhis. Some may be more, some may be less. Just like nowadays, everyone is earning money. Everyone is working on earning money. Some may be earning more money, some may be earning less money. Those who are earning more money, they will have top story building, and those who are earning less money, they may have some jobdipatti. So that is their aerial mansion. So it is like that. Don't make him yogi. By the way, he also has yoga siddhis because he's a person from Satyayuga. So like that.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Here, Kardhama in purport Prabhupada mentioned that after 50, one should take Vanaprastha, that is renunciation, start renunciation life. So in Kali, we see that after also 60, 70, 80 also, we're living in home household. So how to maintain that?
Because now there is no Vana to go to Vanaprastha order. So where we will go?
When we are living in concrete jungle.
Prabhupada stated the principle. So it is very difficult today to follow that principle. But at least, in spite of staying at home, one should not be too much attached to the home and homely activities. One should give all the responsibilities to the next generation and engage all one's time in bhakti activities. That we can call as Vanaprastha order according to today context. May not be at 50, but at least one should work all the way up to 60, which is like government, according to government, the retirement time. 60 onwards, one should be able to focus full time on bhakti activities instead of involved in business, employment, and household activities so much. Those things can be taken care by the next generation. So that we can call as Vanaprastha today.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you.
This we can only do if we have that much interest to practice bhakti, like Kardhama. Kardhama was so much interested that he could have stayed for one more year also, but he did not stay only. He just within 2-3 days later, after Lord appeared, he said, "My dear Lord, I am going. Please give me permission." That much eagerness one should be having. So like that. Then only one will be able to do it. Otherwise, it is very difficult. I don't know. I may be wrong, but this is my observation. Because we see many people in our relatives, even though they have already retired from their active job, but they will continue to do some job. They can't because they don't know what to do afterwards. Whole day sitting idle at home will be a cause of boredom for them. So they take up some other job. They do some activities, this that. Because they are not into spiritual activities. In spiritual activities, there are so many things. We have so much to read, so much to speak, so much to preach, so much to spread, so much to organize, so much to cultivate others. So many activities are there in bhakti. But when one does not show interest in them, one works. So like that. Okay.
Thank you,
Fine.
Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Any other questions from other devotees? Okay. That is fine. So now we are entering into a new topic. This is very important and very quite philosophical, quite technical. So request all the devotees to not to miss any class. If you miss one class, you will lose the continuity. And this is very important in one sense. This is the essence. Recently, we were discussing in our daily Bhagavatam classes, not in Chopati, but here in Mandi. The discussion was from third canto, chapter 5. There was one verse about Mahabharata. Why Vyasdev wrote Mahabharata? Vidura was telling to Maitreya. Vyasdev wrote Mahabharata with all the history filled with Kama and Lobha of the materialistic people such as Duryodhana and all, in order to attract people to Bhagavad Gita. Ultimately, what Vyasdev want to give us through Mahabharata is Bhagavad Gita only, the 700 shlokas. In order to give us the 700 shlokas, Vyasdev is writing 1 lakh shlokas. Because without the 1 lakh shlokas, we cannot appreciate the 700 shlokas. That was the essence of Mahabharata. And Mahabharata is the essence of 4 Vedas. Similarly, the teachings of Lord Kapila is also the essence of all the Vedic literatures, which is similar to Bhagavad Gita, which is one step ahead of Bhagavad Gita. Teachings of Lord Kapila, it is similar to Bhagavad Gita and it is one step ahead to Bhagavad Gita. So in that way, we are repeating Bhagavad Gita and we are going to get more and more details which were not mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So like that, we should understand this section. So from Bhagavad Gita, we understand that Bhagavad Gita teaches 5 things. Yes, these are the 5 things which Bhagavad Gita teaches. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. Hare Krishna. All of you remember Bhakshasri? Bhul gaye already.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Okay, now please tell me, how are these 5 are related to with each other? How Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma are related with each other, connected to each other.
Ishvara and Jiva are connected through yoga, Prabhu.
Where is the yoga here? Yoga hai hi nahi. We only have 5 things. Yoga kahan se aa gaya?
Prabhuji, Ishvara is controller, Jiva is controlling. Sorry, भगवान कंट्रोल करते हैं, ईश्वरा जीव कंट्रोल होता है और किसके माध्यम से होता है? प्रकृति के माध्यम से होता है। और इन सबका साक्षी कौन है? काल है। और जीवा जो है वो इसलिए बनता है क्योंकि कर्म इज नॉट परमानेंट। ये चार ईश्वर, जीव, प्रकृति, काल वो है, वो परमानेंट है। बट अकॉर्डिंग टू वंस कर्मा ही घूमते रहता है इसमें। तो इस तरह पांचों कनेक्टेड है।
Okay, to some extent correct, but not complete. Anyone else? How are these are interconnected with each other?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this Ishwar and Jeev, Ishwar Prakriti, actually in simple term, Jeev Jagat Jagannath बोलते हैं, तो भगवान, Jiva and Prakriti, there are 3 main player. This is called triad. This philosophical triad में जो हमने देखा था. And this God, Lord control this Prakriti through the time, and this Jiva through the karma.
Okay, let us see. The connection between Ishvara and Prakriti is through Kala. Because we have been discussing this from 2nd canto, 3rd canto in the Bhagavatam, which you have been reading till now. Last week only many devotees spoke on this creation thing. So Ishvara is connected to Prakriti through his glance. That glance is nothing but Kala Shakti. Okay. As a result of that glance, what happens? Ishvara impregnates Prakriti with Jiva. When Jiva is entered into the womb of Prakriti, Jiva goes with their karma and swabhava. Okay? All five are there now. Ishvara is here, Jiva is here, Prakriti is here, Kala is here, Karma is here. All five are there. This is how the five things are connected, interconnected with each other. So what here is Lord is doing? By glancing upon Prakriti, Ishvara impregnates Jiva within the womb of Prakriti. As a result of what is happening, Jiva is getting bound by Prakriti and remains in the material world. But that is with that the Jiva's constitutional position. What is the constitutional position of Jiva?
Eternal servitor of God.
Okay. Where Jiva is Krishna's Intidas?
Eternal
Spiritual
servitor.
world?
So Jiva supposed to be with Ishvara in Ishvara's abode, then only Jiva can be called as Nityadas. When Jiva is in the womb of Prakriti, he cannot be called as Nityadas. He will be called as Nityabadda.
Nityabadda.
So our Nityabadda is due to our karma. Our karma is due to our Svabhava. So it is because of our karma and Svabhava, we have become subordinate to Prakriti and we have become Nityabadda. And with the help of same karma and Svabhava, we can become Nitya Mukta also. Taking the help of same karma and Svabhava, by a little bit modifications in our karma and Svabhava, we can also become Nitya Mukta. And that karma and that Svabhava, which takes us from the material world to spiritual world, is technically called as yoga. Yoga means yujyate. Yujyate iti yoga. That which joins us with our original source is called yoga or yuj. So what kind of yoga? Yoga means Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. These are the four yogas practicing which we can go back home back to Godhead. We can resume our eternal position as Jivera Swarupai Krishnera Nityadas. And that yoga is in four divisions: Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Which are the essence of Bhagavad Gita? Which are the essence of teachings of Lord Kapila? In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna teaches us only these four things only: Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Lord Kapila is going to teach us the same four things, by which we as Jiva currently under the control of Prakriti. And by practicing this yoga, we can come under the shelter of Ishvara. This is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. This is the essence of teachings of Lord Kapila. All of you could follow this diagram?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So now,
प्रभुजी हरे कृष्णा
हाँ,
प्रभुजी एक थोड़ा क्वेरी था, इट्स नॉट क्वेश्चन. सांख्य योग में तो हम सब 24 एलिमेंट ऑफ मटेरियल वर्ल्ड के बारे में पढ़ते हैं ना, एवरीथिंग.
अभी रुको. We have not gone to Sankhya Yoga. As of now, we are calling it as yoga only.
Okay.
Let us discuss what is Sankhya Yoga and all. Let us discuss. We have not discussed that, so don't get into new things. If you have some question based on what we have discussed till now, let us discuss. So now, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma are the five things, plus yoga is the main thing of Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is teaching us about all these six things. Yes? All of you agree?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay, Prabhu. Yes, agree.
Now, Ishvara is there, Jiva is there, Prakriti is there, Kala is there. These are the four entities. And there is something called karma. So what do you mean by karma? Anybody can tell? What is the literal meaning of karma?
Action done by the jiva.
Karma, karta, kriya bolte na. Karma karna. Doing something, doing some action, doing some activity. So how do we do our any activity? Any
Through the
activity that
body,
we do.
by our
Mind, words,
subtle
and
body and
action.
इंद्रियों के द्वारा.
केवल इंद्रियों के द्वारा आपको सिर्फ
Excellent,
इंद्रिय दे
Josh.
दिया जाएगा, आप कर पाएंगे कुछ कुछ कर पाएंगे?
कर्म इंद्रिय प्रभु।
डिजायर के कारण।
डिजायर है, अभी आपको पैरालिसिस हो गया बट आपको हाथ उठाने के लिए डिजायर है, आप उठा पाएंगे हाथ को?
With body.
चला पाएंगे?
Only when it is sanctioned, Prabhuji, only when it is sanctioned.
Okay, that is there, sanction and all subtle thing. So that is high philosophical thing. Like a common basic thing. We do some
Ability.
activity with the help of our body. बॉडी के बिना आप कुछ कर पाएंगे क्या?
No.
फॉर एग्जाम्पल करंटली
मन से होता है ना, मन से किया गया कार्य ज्यादा पावरफुल होता है ना?
नहीं, मन से कुछ होता है नहीं। अभी मैं मन से सोचा, अभी you thought that so you would like to give 1 lakh rupees to some माता जी, आप मन से सोच लिया, उसका मतलब दे दिया क्या?
नहीं,
आपको देना ही पड़ेगा ना। आप एक्चुअली have to give in action. You have to take out the money from your almara and give it in the hands of that person. Then only it is being done. मन में सोचने से कार्य होता नहीं, आपको एक्चुअली करना ही पड़ेगा। Then only it is called karma. Unless until you do something physically, you cannot call it as karma. So we perform any activity with the help of our body, and our body is made up of 24 elements. 5 Panchamahabhutas, 5 Tanmatras, 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, 4 Antakaranas, Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chetana. So our body is made up of 24 elements with which we perform karma, and this karma only binding us or liberating us. You are getting? Action is action. When we do sinful
Yes,
action, it is binding us. When we do bhakti activity, it will be liberating us. Both are action only, but that action will be performed only by body. So every day morning we get up and sit in front of the altar and chant 16 rounds. How are you able to chant 16 rounds? Whether with the help of these 24 elements or without the help of 24 elements. Any one is missing while chanting in the 2 hours? Anyone we are missing?
24
Are we using 24 or not during the chanting? Or for chanting?
Yes,
bro.
Directly or indirectly, we are using all the 24 elements for chanting. So before chanting, we are getting up, folding our bedding clothes, and then going to bathroom and brushing, attending nature calls, and taking bath, wearing new clothes, applying tilak, and coming and performing Mangalarti and sitting in front of the deity and chanting. While chanting, we are engaging our hands, we are engaging our eyes, we are engaging our nostril, we are engaging our mouth, we are engaging our ears, we are engaging our skin, we are engaging our legs, we are engaging our hands, everything getting involved. We are engaging our mind, intelligence, ego, chetana, our body. You are not missing anything. Or to do some sinful activity also, the same 24 elements are used. So basically, we are using the 24 elements with the help of Kala under the shelter of Prakriti, we being a Jiva for serving Ishvara. So in one sense, in order to execute yoga, we need the help of 28 elements. Without the help of these 28 elements, we cannot execute yoga. You are getting? So Bhagavad Gita is teaching us yoga. Teachings of Lord Kapila is also teaching us yoga. And in order to understand yoga and in order to execute yoga, we need the help of these 28 elements. And also, we also need to understand what are these 28 elements, and we need to engage the 28 elements in executing yoga. What was that sloka? Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena sevanam Rishikena sevanam
Bhakti.
Rishikena sevanam Bhakti Rishikena Rishikesha sevanam. with the help of our senses, we are serving Lord Rishikesha. So not only senses, we are also employing our entire body along with Kala, Prakriti, Jiva and Ishvara. We ourselves are getting engaged in that bhakti activity. So we have to use the 28 elements in order to execute yoga. Any form of yoga. It can be Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, whichever. The study of these 28 elements is called Sankhya. And engaging the 28 elements is also called Sankhya. That means Sankhya also means Nishkama Karma Yoga, Sankhya also means Jnana Yoga, Sankhya also means Ashtanga Yoga, Sankhya also means Bhakti Yoga. So that is the understanding. So these are the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. I hope all of you still remember. Yaad hai na titles?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
So this Sankhya is slightly encompassing everything compared to what I understood that Sankhya Yoga, Prabhuji. So if you can clarify.
When we come to that, we will discuss. Right now,
okay.
See, you might have heard many things in the past, but we are just beginning our discussion. So wait. So by the end of our discussion, you will understand. May not be today, but by the end of this teaching, so Lord Kapila entire thing. So these are the 18 chapters which were there in Bhagavad Gita, and they have been divided into 3 parts: Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. The first 6 chapters primarily teaching us Karma Yoga, last 6 chapters are primarily teaching us Jnana Yoga, and middle 6 chapters are teaching us Bhakti Yoga. But to go one step inside, which we discussed elaborately during our Bhakti Shastri classes, so it is like this. First chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Second chapter of Bhagavad Gita is also called as Sankhya Yoga. Contents of Gita summarized. So in one sense, what is the subject of Bhagavad Gita? Though, so in the previous slide if you see, though Bhagavad Gita had 18 chapters, though Bhagavad Gita had 3 sections, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, but what is the main topic of Bhagavad Gita? Yoga. Okay. And the sub contents of that yoga are summarized in second chapter. That is called Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga, in one sense, understanding what are the different things that are being taught through this particular book or through this particular philosophy. That is called Sankhya. Analytical understanding of something is called Sankhya. So what are the topics that are discussed in the entire Bhagavad Gita are briefly summarized in the second chapter. These are the different topics. Text 11 to 15 is the essence of entire Gita. 16 to 30 talks about Sankhya Yoga, or within the bracket we can say Jnana Yoga. Or here Sankhya Yoga means analytical study of the distinction between the body and the soul, the matter and spirit. Text number 16 to 30 talks about the distinction between body and the soul, or matter and spirit, very systematically, very analytically. So systematic or analytical study of something is called Sankhya, technically. So that is called Sankhya. Later on, Lord Krishna speaks about Sakama Karma from 31 to 38. Then Lord Krishna speaks about Bhakti Yoga from 40 to 46. Then Lord Krishna speaks about Nishkama Karma Yoga from 47 to 50. Then 51 to 72, Lord Krishna speaks about the path of perfection of Nishkama Karma Yogis. That is, practicing Jnana, practicing Ashtanga Yoga, and finally attaining Sahyajya Mukti. So in this way, everything is there. Sakama Karma is there, Nishkama Karma is there, Jnana, Ashtanga, Bhakti, all the different systems of sadhanas are briefly summarized in Gita second chapter. Because here initially only Lord Krishna is introducing what is what. That's why this chapter is called Sankhya Yoga. And within that chapter also, Lord Krishna analytically explaining you what are the characteristics of the spirit soul and the material body. And that's why this is also called Sankhya. Sankhya is one word. It can be used in multiple contexts. Like Atma. Atma is one word you can use in multiple contexts for multiple meanings. Atma can be Supreme Lord. Atma can be individual Jiva. Atma can be mind, Ahankara. Atma can be senses. Atma can be body also. So like that. So Lord Krishna briefly introduced what is what. I mean, what all the subject matters are discussed in the entire Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter itself. That's why second chapter is known as Sankhya Yoga. Then he elaborates all of them in the next section. So Lord Krishna explains Sakama Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga in chapter 3. Lord Krishna explains Jnana Yoga in chapter 4. Lord Krishna explains Karma Sannyasa Yoga in chapter 5. And Lord Krishna explains Ashtanga Yoga in chapter 6. All came Sakama Karma, Nishkama Karma, Jnana, Ashtanga. They all came. And then Lord Krishna explains Bhakti Yoga in chapter 7 to chapter 12. And especially in chapter 7 and chapter 8. In chapter 7, he talks about different aspects of Bhakti Yoga. Jnana, Vijnana Yoga. So, in one way, we can say that Jnana means Aishwarya Bhakti. Vijnana means Madhurya Bhakti. There are two kinds of Bhakti, Aishwarya Bhakti and Madhurya Bhakti. Jnana stands for Aishwarya Bhakti. Vijnana stands for Madhurya Bhakti. And technically, they are called as Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti and Kevala Bhakti. Kevala Bhakti means Madhurya Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti. And Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti means Aishwarya Bhakti. And these two category of bhaktis are explained very nicely in the 7th chapter. And now, how these people who following Sakama Karma Yoga, then Nishkama Karma Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, then Ashtanga Yoga, how they will attain liberation is explained in the 8th chapter. How these people attain liberation is explained in the 8th chapter, and how these devotees, the Aishwarya Bhaktas and Madhurya Bhaktas also attain the Supreme Lord is also explained in the 8th chapter. There are 4 sadhanas: Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. What are the sadhanas? From chapter 3 to chapter 7 and some extent in chapter 8 also. And what is the way of attaining perfection? Chapter 8. And then, since Bhakti has been briefly explained in chapter 7, Lord elaborates the different aspects of Bhakti in chapter 9, 10, 11, in all these chapters. And at the end, Lord gives a comparison, a comparative study of the practitioners of this path of perfection and this path of perfection. Some people might want to attain perfection following this traditional yoga ladder. Some people want to attain perfection following this Jnana Vijnana Bhakti, Aishwarya or Madhurya Bhakti. So ये दोनों के बीच में comparison is given in 12th chapter. And then chapter 13 to chapter 18 are elaboration of the details that are briefly mentioned in the previous chapters. So whatever some details about Jnana, some details about Bhakti, which Lord Krishna briefly mentioned in these previous chapters, are elaborated in the last 6 chapters. This is Bhagavad Gita. And studying Bhagavad Gita in this way is called Sankhya Yoga. Analytical study of Bhagavad Gita in this way. That is called Sankhya. Sankhya Adhyayana. So same thing we'll also see in teachings of Lord Kapila. Chapter 21, 24 we already saw birth of Lord Kapila and Kardhama's perfection. This we have already saw. In 25th, Lord Kapila will explain Bhakti Yoga. In 26th, Lord Kapila will explain Jnana Yoga. In 27th chapter, Lord Kapila will explain Tapasya and Vairagya. In 28th chapter, Lord Kapila will discuss Ashtanga Yoga. In 29th chapter, Lord Kapila again discusses Bhakti Yoga and also power of Kala. In chapter 30, 31, 32, Lord Kapila will discuss Karma, different aspects of Karma. There is something called Vikarma, something called Sakama Karma, something called Nishkama Karma Yoga. So what kind of people will practice these things and what kind of results they will get, they are explained in detail in these 3 chapters. So what is the destiny of the vikarmic people who perform vikarma? What is the destiny of people who perform sakama karma? What is the destiny of people who perform nishkama karma yoga? So these are the teachings of Lord Kapila, 25 to 32. So following the essence of all these teachings, Mother Devati attains her perfection. That is in chapter 33. In summary, Lord Kapila is teaching us Sankhya Yoga or Sankhya Tattva, wherein Sankhya Yoga or Sankhya Tattva means the detailed discussion of Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Nishkama Karma Yoga specifically. Because in order to appreciate what is Nishkama Karma Yoga, we also need to understand what is Vikarma, what is Sakama Karma. That's why this comparative study is given. But actual sadhana that is recommended to be followed is Nishkama Karma Yoga only. So that's how we have to understand. So these are the topics in Bhagavad Gita. These are the topics in teachings of Lord Kapila. In one sense, both are same, but details may be little different. Few details are highlighted in Bhagavad Gita, few details are highlighted in teachings of Lord Kapila. Ultimately, both of them are teaching us how to practice a particular sadhana so that all of us can come back to Godhead easily. Okay, able to follow Hare Krishna?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So now we have seen this during our initial part of the third canto, chapter 5 to chapter 11, where Sarga has been explained. So there is something called Pradhana. Pradhana means Prakriti, the facilitator or the matter. By giving us 24 material elements, we have the universe and the individual bodies. So Pradhana gives us 24 elements from which the universe comes and also our individual body also comes. By giving us this body, Pradhana facilitating us perform bhakti. If we don't have bhakti, can we practice bhakti? If we don't have this material body, whatever body we have, we cannot practice bhakti. It is Pradhana which is giving us the body so that we can practice bhakti. Same way, with that body, sometimes we can do, like here in this previous section, there is something called as Vikarma and Sakama Karma. This Vikarma and Sakama Karma activities can bind us in this material world. Actually, they bind us in this material world. So these activities we are able to perform because of avidya. There are 5 angas of avidya, which are the cause of jiva's bondage. What are they? Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. We have been discussing about them elaborately many times. I am not getting into details. But if we want to come out of this bondage caused by avidya, we need to take shelter of vidya, which causes liberation. So vidya has 6 aspects. So what are they? Nishkama Karma Yoga, Tapasya, Jnana Yoga, Vairagya, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. Who all appear to propagate these 6 angas of Vidya? Who are the teachers of these sadhanas?
4 Kumaras.
What are they teaching?
They are teaching Jnana.
क्या प्रभु ऊपर ऊपर बोलो मत ठीक से बताओ.
Means they're teaching the Tapasya, Jnana Yoga, and this Vairagya.
Then who is teaching Ashtanga Yoga?
No, so, but for Bhakti Yoga, it's Narada.
Narada Muni teaches Bhakti Yoga. The 4 Kumaras teach Tapasya, Jnana, Vairagya, and Ashtanga Yoga. And all the Prajapatis, the great Rishis, they teach Nishkama Karma Yoga. They are all teachers of these different angas of Vidya. They are not Baddha Jivas. They are the Mukta Jivas and they are teachers. Kindly remember that. So, though the 4 Kumaras are teaching 4 things, Tapasya, Jnana Yoga, Vairagya, and Ashtanga, but Vairagya is prerequisite for practicing Ashtanga Yoga. Tapasya is the prerequisite for practicing Jnana Yoga. Jnana means basically Sankhya plus Tapasya combined together makes Jnana. Sankhya means analytical study of what is what. Tapasya means following a strict lifestyle. then only one can practice Jnana Yoga. A Jnana Yogi should have analytical study, the knowledge of what is what through analytical study, and should be able to perform severe austerities and severe tapasya. Then only one can accomplish Jnana Yoga. And in order to perform Ashtanga Yoga, one need to be completely detached from the material world. Without detachment, we cannot practice Ashtanga Yoga. So like that. And then all these 6 angas of Vidya are taught in these chapters. Bhakti Yoga taught in 25 and 29. And Jnana Yoga is taught in 26. Tapasya and Vairagya are taught in 27. Ashtanga Yoga is taught in 28. And Nishkama Karma Yoga is taught in 30 to 32. Basically 32 is chapter. The remaining are all connected to that. What to do and what not to do. In that way, do's and don'ts. So this is how these 6 angas of Vidya are connected to the different chapters of teachings of Lord Kapila. It is with the help of same 24 elements only. We are performing some sinful activities by which we are bound. And if we perform some spiritual activities, we will be liberated. That's why these are always required for us. So now, few details about Sankhya before concluding for today. So what is Sankhya? Sankhya deals with the elemental categories of principles of the physical universe. Sankhya is what Western scholars refer to as metaphysics. From the Westerners' point of view, Sankhya means metaphysics. From our Advaita, our Vedanta point of view, Sankhya means elemental categories of the principles of the physical universe. Studying the physical universe analytically, that is Sankhya. Sankhya literally means to count. This name is used because Sankhya philosophy enumerates the principles of cosmic evolution by rational analysis. The
Prabhuji,
etymological...
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, you are showing PPT.
Yes.
But I am not visible. It is not visible to me. No.
Other devotees are able to see the PPT?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Clearly
Prabhuji.
visible.
Prabhuji.
So you rejoin. You please rejoin.
Okay.
The etymological meaning of the word Sankhya is that which explains very lucidly by analysis of material elements. If you want to understand about something, first you need to disintegrate it, different subcomponents, undivisible subcomponents, and explain about each and every component in detail, and then combine all of them and tell this is the product. This kind of study is called Sankhya, analytical study. Philosophically, this term is used because Sankhya system expounds analytical knowledge that enables one to distinguish between the matter and the spirit. Analytical analysis of what is called Sankhya. This thing we can understand from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text number 16 to 30, we can clearly understand. There Lord Krishna explains what are the characteristics of the body, what are the characteristics of soul. Nasato vidyate bhava, na bhava vidyate sa, ubayorapi dushtanta, na tattva darshana. So like that. Same way, in chapter 26, whole chapter, we'll explain about the 28 elements. What are they? Just now we saw the 28 elements. Each and every element explained in detail what is what. That's why 26th chapter called as Sankhya Yoga. Because in detail we understand the elements of this existence. This understanding culminates in bhakti, devotion for and service to the Supreme Lord. So understanding of Sankhya ultimately culminates in bhakti. So what do you mean by bhakti? Bhakti means devotion for and service to the Supreme Lord. The ultimate conclusion is this one, bhakti. It may be said therefore that Sankhya and bhakti form two aspects of the same process. Bhakti being the ultimate goal or ultimate aspect of Sankhya. Sankhya is the preliminary study and bhakti means the final engagement. So like that we can relate to these two. They are not independent, instead they are interdependent. The understanding of Sankhya, that means analytical study of this universe, what is what, will help us practice bhakti with complete conviction. So that is how these two are interrelated. So the word Sankhya is being used in Bhagavad Gita multiple places. Lokesmin Vidha Nishta Pura Prokta Mayanaga Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. So here Lord Krishna is telling that I have spoken in the last chapter of the two types of qualification for people of this world. Those qualified for Jnana are known as practitioners of Jnana Yoga, and those qualified for Nishkama Karma are known as practitioners of Karma Yoga. In the second chapter, Lord Krishna elaborately explains about the Sakama Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. In the second part of the second chapter, very elaborately explained. So the Lord says that these are the two ways. Some people are prefer to practice Karma Yoga, some people are prefer to practice Jnana Yoga. But both are meant for same goal. The word Sankhya refers to Jnana or knowledge and further indicates the person who possesses Sankhya. The steadiness of such jnanis by the process of Jnana Yoga, Prajna, has been mentioned in the second chapter starting with Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Bandhan Avasthitan. So second chapter, text number 55 onwards. So what is the result that will manifest in a person who thoroughly understands Sankhya, who thoroughly understands the analytical study of what is what? Is the state of the prajna. The qualities of the prajna will manifest in that person. He who studies Sankhya properly will become Prajna. That is the understanding. That jnana is yoga. Yoga means that process by which a person is joined with Ishvara. Yoga is that process practicing which one will become reunited with the Ishvara, with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The process in this case is jnana. So here Lord Krishna is going to teach Nishkama Karma Yoga, which ultimately should lead to Jnana Yoga, which ultimately will take the Jiva to Ishvara. In that way, Lord Krishna is connecting and teaching it. And the same thing Lord Krishna again repeats in the 5th chapter. Sankhya Yogo Prutak Bala Pravadanti Na Pandita Ekam Api Asita Samyag Ubayor Vindate Phalam. Ignorant speak of Jnana and Karma Yoga are different, but not the wise people. Performing one of these completely, one attains the results of both, seeing the Atma. The result of practicing Nishkama Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga is seeing the Atma. Your statement about which is the better of the two does not actually apply, because intelligent people do not see any difference between the two. Because Arjuna asked in the beginning of the 5th chapter, so you talk about Karma Yoga, you also talk about Jnana Yoga. So which one I am supposed to do? So Lord Krishna says, both are meant for the same thing only. It is not that Karma Yoga is taking you this side and Jnana Yoga is taking you left side. Not like that. So it is like a person want to become a graduate. In order to become graduate, one should study school education and then one should study college education also. Those who are in the school also are going towards graduation. Those who are in the college also are going towards graduation. You cannot say that the school children are not qualified to go to graduation. After school education is over, that's all they are done with. They don't have to do anything more. Is it like that anywhere? Hare Krishna. First, everyone has to go to school and study in the school, and then one should go to school, college, and study in the college, and then one should go to university and study, do one's undergraduation, whatever, undergrad, post, whichever. So in order to enter into graduation, one need to pass through school education and then college education. Either you may be in school or you may be in college, but ultimately both of you are meant for going for graduation only. So studying in school means Nishkama Karma Yoga. Studying in college means Jnana Yoga. The goal is entering into university and doing undergraduation. So that's how the Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga are connected to each other. Only the fools speak of the difference between Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga. At the previous verse mentioned, one should know the Karma Yogi to be the real sannyasi. Thus, performing one of the two gives the result of both. Only time, it may take more time. Today you are in school, tomorrow you will be in college, and day after tomorrow you will anyway you enter into university. So just because one who is already in college entering into university quickly, you cannot say that the school children will not go to university. Both are ultimately meant to go to university only. That way, both are same because their goal is same. That's how we have to understand Nishkama Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Yasyanke prapyate sthanam yad yoga rapi gamyate. Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha ya pashyati sa pashyati. The goal achieved by Jnana is the goal achieved by Karma Yoga also. He who sees Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga as one because of having one result actually sees things as they are. What is achieved by Sankhya is also achieved by Nishkama Karma Yoga. He who sees that these two, which appear different, are actually one by intelligence, actually sees. He is the wise man. Only a wise understands the ultimate goal is going there only. So, today one may be in Nishkama Karma Yoga platform, tomorrow one will be in Jnana Yoga platform, but ultimately, finally one will go to spiritual world. That is the ultimate goal. So both are meant to go there. That's why both are said to be same. So in that way. So this is the last slide for today's discussion. Here only the 3 verses are there which we already discussed. In 3rd canto, 24th chapter, the previous chapter, in verse 30, Kardhama told that, so my dear Lord, desiring to give you a method of knowledge and increasing the honor of devotees, you have descended in my house to make your words true. Kardhama told this. And Lord says same thing. Yes, I will give to my mother spiritual knowledge, which ends all the karmas by which she will also attain fearlessness. I have appeared to teach Sankhya Yoga, not only to my mother, but everyone. But first of all, I will teach my mother. And then what? Lord Brahma also told same thing. In order to uproot karma by the method of Jnana, Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga, Jnana means Jnana Vijnana Yogena. In order to uproot the bondage caused by Vikarma or Sakama Karma, I will teach the methods of Jnana, that means Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, and Vijnana, that is Bhakti Yoga. The Lord entering your womb will travel all over the world, cutting the knot of ignorance and false knowledge. By teaching what is what, by teaching the right understanding of Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, the Lord will enable all of us to come back to Godhead. So that is the purpose of Lord Kapila's appearance, and that is the purpose of the teachings of Lord Kapila, which are explained from chapter 25 to chapter 25 to chapter 32. So this section 25 to 33 will discuss the purpose of material creation. Till now we have been discussing the process of material creation. Chapter number 5 to 24 we have discussed the process of material creation. Now we will be discussing the purpose of material creation from next week onwards. So we'll stop here. It is late already. I'm extremely sorry. Just to complete this introduction, I just took a little more time. So we'll stop here.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
I have one question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Like you mentioned that the teachings of Lord Kapila is one step ahead from the teachings of Lord Krishna and Bhagavad Gita. So I didn't understand that part.
So you only tell me after chapter 33. We will discuss, are they one step ahead or equal or one step lower? You tell me afterwards.
After 33 chapter.
After entire discussion, you compare both and you see. One step higher means, see, Bhagavad Gita is in the form of instructions. It only tells what to do. And Bhagavatam tells, by doing this, what you will get. Bhagavatam also talks about the results. Bhagavad Gita only says that you will go to spiritual world. But Bhagavatam will say, what do you mean going to spiritual world? So these are some of the special additions in the teachings of Lord Kapila. In that way, we can say one step ahead. And in Bhagavad Gita, in one shloka, Lord Krishna says that, oh, you need to understand karma, akarma, vikarma. And those who understands karma, the distinction between karma, akarma, vikarma, they will be liberated. But Lord Krishna does not tell what do you mean by karma, akarma, vikarma. But Lord Kapila will explain all these things in detail in 3 chapters. What do you mean by karma? What do you mean by akarma? What do you mean by vikarma? All these things he will devote for 3 chapters. You are getting?
Yes, Swami.
So in that way, it is one step ahead.
So the more finer details are explained in Bhagavatam. Okay.
Okay.
Hare
Fine.
Krishna,
Fine.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Dandavat pranam. Prabhuji, so next week mini test will be there.
Mini